This is part 2 for Indigo by Louis Fisher, which is in continuation of session 8. Let's start with a recapitulation of part 1. Gandhiji's Champaran Satyagraha, India's first civil disobedience movement, was launched by him to protest against the injustice meted out to the tenant farmers in Champaran district of Bihar. It is widely regarded as the place when Gandhiji made his first experiment in Satyagraha. During British rule, many tenant farmers were forced to grow indigo on part of their land, often working under oppressive conditions. The anger and resentment among the tenants, with several landlords using strong arm tactics, made Rajkumar Shukla, a farmer, appeal to Gandhiji, leading to Gandhiji's visit to Champaran in 1917. Gandhiji's arrival unsettled the British and he was ordered to leave the district. When Gandhiji refused, he was arrested on the charge of creating unrest, leading to massive non-violent protests, eventually leading to his release. On being ordered by the authorities to leave Tirhut, Gandhiji refused to comply. He was accompanied by several lawyers to Motihari. There he got the news that a peasant had been maltreated in the nearby village. He decided to go and meet him, but on his way, the police ordered to return to the town and Gandhi agreed. He was then asked to quit Champaran, but he declared that he would disobey as he was a part of the country. As a result of the refusal, he was offered summons to appear in the court. When Gandhiji was summoned to appear in the court, he sent for Rajendra Prasad and other lawyers and sent a report to the Viceroy. He also sent the details to the ashram. Thousands of sharecroppers and farmers gathered outside the courtroom and silently protested in favor of the man who wanted to help them and himself was in trouble with the authorities. This was the first demonstration of solidarity and beginning of their liberation from fear. The officials felt powerless without the cooperation of Gandhiji. In friendly gesture, Gandhiji helped the authorities to regulate the crowd. He proved that their might could be challenged by Indians. The authorities were puzzled and the case was delayed due to the hesitation of the British officials. Gandhiji protested against the delay and pleaded guilty. He told the court that he had greatest respect for law since he himself was a lawyer, but he had to obey the law of his conscience to render humanitarian service to the sharecroppers. So he had to opt for helping the cause of the sharecroppers by disobeying the orders of the court. The display of unity and resilience made the Britishers felt fearful. As a result, the magistrate announced that he would pronounce the justice after 2 hours recess and wanted Gandhiji to furnish bail for 120 minutes. This was refused by Gandhiji. The court convened later and the judge did not deliver the judgment. Meanwhile, he allowed Gandhiji to be free. The Champaran episode didn't begin as an act of defiance. It grew out of an attempt to remove the distress of large number of poor peasants. In the unlikely event of Gandhiji's arrest, Rajendra Prasad and other lawyers had discussion with him. The lawyers decided to return to their places in case of Gandhiji's arrest. They were in a dilemma because they wondered if the person for whom they had come all the way was put in jail, there was no work left for them. Gandhiji tried to mold a new fearless, self-reliant and free India who could stand on his own feet. The lawyers who had decided to return were made to ponder again by Gandhiji. Gandhiji shook their conscience, which made the lawyers feel ashamed that a stranger was ready to go to jail for them. This led them to decide to quote arrest. This was the beginning of the victory in the Battle of Champaran. Gandhiji's fearless efforts infused great confidence in the lawyers and peasants, and they stood as a symbol of solidarity, freedom from fear. As the Champaran episode gained momentum, it proved to be a turning point in Gandhiji's as well as peasants' life. It taught him how he could mold timid poor peasants into self-confident soldiers for a freedom moment. The government was baffled, the trials postponed, Gandhiji released without bail. Several days later, he received a written communication from magistrate informing him that the lieutenant governor of the province had ordered the case to be dropped. So Gandhiji's untiring efforts, power of mobilization, and efforts to promote self-reliance triumphed. His belief that non-violence can win wars and battles also strengthened. The victory of civil disobedience movement was the first of its kind in India and paved way for the struggle to achieve Indian independence.